Carrying yarn in circular knitting is very similar to carrying yarn in flat knitting with some subtle differences. When you are knitting wide stripes, there's no need to cut your yarn in between each stripe. You can carry up the resting yarn with you so that when you're ready to use it, it's right there waiting for you without having all those pesky tails to weave in had you cut your yarn. So here in this piece, I'm knitting with red and I'm at the beginning of the round and I want to continue to knit in red, but I have had this white yarn resting for 4 rows and I want to continue. So this is the time when I should carry that yarn with me. So to do that, I'm going to bring the resting yarn underneath. You can see it's coming underneath the working yarn. And then I'm going to bring it over the working yarn. So when I pick up my red yarn or my working yarn to continue to knit, you can see that the resting yarn is caught in between there. And so it will continue to stay close when it comes time for me to knit with the resting yarn or the contrasting color again. So let me show you again how we do that. To carry the yarn, you take the resting yarn from underneath the working yarn, put it over, and then just pick up the working yarn and you will knit. And we knit a couple of stitches here and I'll show you the inside. You can see how my resting yarn is caught in here and I'm carrying that inside, and you can do that as many times as you need to until you get to the spot where you're going to knit with your contrasting color or the alternate color again. So I'm taking out just a few stitches here to show you what you do when it is time to change colors. So you're knitting with the red. Now it's time you want to start working with the white. So when you change colors in striping, in circular knitting, I find that it makes a nicer join here if I take the old color, which is the one I'm no longer going to be knitting with, and kind of put it to the left, bring the new yarn, or the yarn that you're going to begin the round with, underneath that yarn, and it's going to kind of go over it. So it's not quite a carry, but similar to it. So again, bring the new yarn up from under the old yarn, and then you can begin knitting with the new color. And it just will make for a little bit of a tidier join here. And if you want to know how to avoid that jogless stripe that you get in circular knitting, check out my jogless stripe video. Happy knitting!